Well, 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 look what the doll dragged in. And the squirrel, for that matter. The squirrel probably dragged the doll in, let's be honest. Oh, these two cards are going to make a pretty big difference in a lot of stuff this week. And we only have the one other person here at the moment. Matt might join briefly, but pre-releases are this Saturday, so he would have to dip out early anyway. So we might see him, might not, doesn't matter. And Sai is not particularly well today, considering... yeah, people were not respectful of needing to sleep. Let's just put it that way. So it's just me and Pepper this time around. We're probably going to do a little bit more of the Majestic Dawn format as a result, which would make sense because Worlds format is a good one to balance on. But I do have four pretty slick decks here to go over. Number one, probably the single strongest deck that I have played in quite a while. As long as you don't just brick on having like 6 opening energy or something. Skittles, as the deck was called, is ridiculous. The idea is actually very similar to a deck I played all the way back in Expedition, which is to use Ho-Oh. And it really hasn't changed very much in 2 generations here. It takes 4 colorless energy to attack, it does 20 damage times the number of different types of basic energy that's on the Ho-Oh. This is instead of doing 30 plus 10 for each different type that the original one was. It has the same 90 HP, the same 2 times weakness to water, technically a worse resistance now because they're minus 20 in this age. But what it does have over the original is Phoenix Turn. This Pokepower will let you attempt a coin flip if the opponent KOs you by damage from an attack, and if you flip heads, you fully heal the Ho-Oh and keep all of your energy cards, discard everything else that's attached to the Ho-Oh, and you just keep it in play. The opponent still takes a prize, and if you've got like a tool card or something attached, which we do have one of, that does get discarded, but you get to keep all of your energy, which means you are still doing that 80 plus damage range here. The other thing that we've had since Gen 2 is, in this generation actually, the introduction of basic dark and metal energy. So now our damage cap is no longer 30 plus 60, it is actually 80, like 8 times 20, right? Because we have 8 different types of basic energy now, 19 total in the deck, but we'll get to why in a minute. But we have a lot of different types of basic energy now, so we can actually hit up to 160, which one-shots everything in the format except Wailord. Wailord is not a problem, even though it would actually be a huge problem for this particular deck. It's not a good card, so we're never going to see it. Yeah, no, this thing is absolutely nuts in its damage output. If you can get enough energy on, we're going to get the energy on via Togekiss. In the past I played Venusaur, which gave you an extra energy attachment per turn, and that was cool. You couldn't set up a Ho-Oh in one turn with that though. But you can with Togekiss. When you evolve into the Togekiss, you look at the top 10 cards of your deck, choose any number of basic energy cards that you find there, show them to the opponent, attach them to your Pokemon however you want. You can keep energy in the deck if you want to, it does not require you to show all of them. Usually you're not going to though, you're generally going to want to attach all the energy, but this can easily accelerate like 6 energy in this deck. I've actually had like 7 different types as the highest so far, but usually you're hitting between 3 to 6 energy in this deck, and that just gets Ho-Oh charged up in one turn, which is crazy. It does have an attack itself, you will need this against water matchups. Air Scroll for 3 colorless energy does 40 damage, if you flip heads it does 70, if you flip tails it's 40, heal 30 from the Togekiss, which can matter. It's not great, and you definitely don't want to rely on it, but it's still worth looking at anyway. The other attacker we have here is Mew Star, because this card is really cool. Choose any one of your opponent's attacks in play, and so long as you can pay for that energy attack, you can copy it. So that's why we have a few more of the meta energies, if you will, in here. We've got 3 copies of Darkness because Dark-type decks will be relatively popular this round. 3 Water, this would be for the Empoleon stuff here, but it also works for Rainbow Wave, where you choose a basic energy on Mew Star and do 20 times the... no, it's not 20 times, it's 20 to each of the opponent's Pokemon that share the same type as that energy. So we want to be able to pay for that, so we do have a third water to facilitate it. And then Psychic is the other big one for this round. I did have 3 Fire Energy in here before, but I've since cut one for a Crystal Beach, because this deck obviously can't play the Special Energy because Ho-Oh only works on basics. So you can't exactly, and it's a basic Pokemon anyway, you wouldn't play Scramble Energy or anything in this deck, it's supposed to be the aggressor, so we do want to limit the opponent's options a little bit that way. Scramble Energy is one of the big ways this deck can fold, so yeah, it's good to actually have a backup for that as well. The other new card in here is Pachirisu. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon, put them onto the bench. Smash Short as an attack would be very, very important for this deck if we had Cessation Crystal in format, because it does 40 if they have Cess active, discards the Cess, and then removes any such tool from their hand as well. So that could be really good to just get rid of a bunch of them so you can get your Ho-Ohs going. And then of course we have Claydol in here as well. I mentioned this before, but not what it actually does. Once during your turn before you attack, choose up to 2 cards in your hand, put them onto the bottom of the deck, and so long as you put at least 1 back, you draw until you have 6 cards in hand. Absolutely absurd. It's like Porygon 2, which was very well used at the time, but it also puts stuff at the bottom of the deck so you don't redraw it. Porygon 2 was just a straight draw until you have 6. This actually lets you draw more cards because you're putting cards away that you don't want. So, ridiculously good consistency tool. The name of the game is going to be get this thing out as fast as possible. To that extent, this deck is not playing a single draw supporter, it's relying entirely on the Claydol for the draw. Because we have 4 Baby Search, put a card from your hand back into the deck, get any Pokemon you want. Celio's Network is just get any Pokemon you want. Sometimes Beyblade is actually stronger than Celio though, because you put a card back for Claydol to draw an extra card. And then we have 2 Roseanne's Research as well. We don't need that many in here because Pachirisu does the heavy lifting for the basic Pokemon, and getting basic energy out means that Togekiss doesn't get the energy, so it's hit and miss, but you can get the energy that you need for your Ho-Oh to do extra damage, so it's worth playing a couple anyway. Otherwise, just a couple of night maintenance to get energy back into the deck, maybe get 1 Ho-Oh because we do sometimes need an extra one. 4 Rare Candy for the Togekiss, it's a 4-2-3 line, so we're wanting to get it out quickly and reliably. And then 2 Warp Point for the switching aspect. If we can force the opponent into a really bad spot where Ho-Oh's going to one-shot anything they bring in anyway, then yeah, it's really good. The only other Pokemon to note here is Unknown G. This card is here specifically for the Dusknoir matchup because it really isn't a favorable matchup in the slightest. When the opponent puts damage counters on Ho-Oh instead of physical damage, it doesn't trigger Phoenix Turn because it does specifically have to be knocked out by damage. Unknown G lets you attach it as a tool from the bench to one of your Pokemon and block out any non-damaging effects that that Pokemon does. So functionally, this means that Dusknoir cannot touch you at all, but it also stops you from taking things like paralysis or, you know, the defending Pokemon can't attack next turn, that kind of thing. So there is a lot of good use for it, and I think it's worth cutting 1 Patchy just to fit it in here. The second best deck that we have access to here is Gaudilade, and this is nowhere near the same as it was before because we do need to use the Power Keeper's Gardevoir instead of the Secret Wonders one, but that actually synergizes super well with this deck in general. So if you didn't see Gaudilade last week, Sonic Blade lets you, for a Fighting a colorless, put damage counters on the opponent until they're 50 HP away from being KO'd, and then force them to switch. This synergizes with Cresselia that we'll see later, but it also has its own attack in Psychic Cut. Psychic double colorless, you do 60 damage, flip as many of your face down prize cards as you want face up, and do 20 more for each one that you flipped. They stay face up for the rest of the game, so you can't go ahead and keep flipping them up, so it is a hard cap on how many times you can do that, but that's still very, very strong. And with double Rainbow Energy, Psychic Cut still does 50, so Psychic Cut and Sonic Blade work really well together. But it also works with the Cresselia level X here, where it does only 40 damage for free energy, but Full Moon Dance lets you shift a damage counter anywhere on your opponent's, anywhere on the board to anywhere else that you want. So you can shift a damage counter from, say, one of your Pokemon to the thing that you reduced to 50 HP remaining, and then Moonskip does 40 and takes the knockout, and you get 2 prizes for doing so. So that's a really good synergistic thing there. You might wonder how we're going to get damage counters reliably. What if the opponent just one-shots you all the time? Gardevoir is the way that we do this, and also is the energy acceleration the deck needs as well. Search your deck for a Psychic Energy once per turn, put it on one of your Pokemon, and put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. You can then shift one of those damage counters away with the Cresselia, but it is also just energy acceleration that we really need in here. So, super slick combo, really happy to have that sort of thing around here. This whole deck is incredibly synergistic and, yeah, does a lot. Gardevoir level X is also pretty good here. Like, we do still play one anyway because teleportation is great. You switch your Gardevoir. Either if it's in the active, you switch with one of your bench. If it's you're on the bench, you switch it with your active. So that's pretty good. And Bring Down can be helpful as well if you have manipulated counters properly. Cresselia helps with that because you can shift something to be within range of this and KO the weakest non-Gardevoir Pokemon on, not the Gardevoir level X that's attacking. KO the weakest Pokemon on the board. So lots of good stuff that you can do with that there. Overall, just really solid. We play a Tauros in here because instead of Pachirisu, because Crush Chance is what we want. Discard a Stadium card in play. We have our own Phoebe Stadium to reduce our Psychic type retreat cost to 0. This obviously works very well with the level X as well, but Crystal Beach is a huge problem here because we do rely on double Rainbow Energy. So we want lots of ways to get rid of that. Otherwise, we have Steven's Advice in here because Claydol draws until you have exactly 6 cards in hand. Steven's Advice can then draw up to 6 more, which is insane. And the Premier Ball is the other major different card in here. Search your deck or your discard pile for a level X, show it to the opponent, put it into hand. So you can get the Cresselia out of the deck, you could get the Gardevoir out of the discard or something. Really good one-of, especially with the fact if you don't have to then use Night Maintenance on the level X in order to get it back into the deck. Just excellent overall. The third deck to look at is actually one that was played at Nationals somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was. I don't think Pika told me where it was, but it was top 4 in Nationals with just one Majestic Dawn Torterra instead of the Diamond Pearl one, but it works just as well with the Diamond Pearl thing here. This is using Sceptile and its Wild Growth Pokebody to make all of your grass energy do double grass attachments. They're double grasses instead of single. So that means that your Torterra can attack for just 2 energy, and these guys are nutter butter for 2 energy. Like, they are so good. Leaf Storm is not amazing for that, but it's still 60 for 2, heal 20 from all of your grass Pokemon. With such high HP totals in the Torterra line, that's really good. The level X goes up to a gigantic 160 HP, which is like impossible to KO right now. And Vigorous Dash is 2 for 100. Snipe 30, do 30 to itself. But 100 KOs most things in the format. The Snipe 30 can really help as well, and you can counter catch it with this too. If you're behind on prizes, then you just gust up one of the opponent's Pokemon. So you gust up their Claydol. Claydol's weak to grass, so you can even Leaf Storm the Claydol and just KO that way. Absolutely absurd power on that. The other thing to really note with this deck is we do have Super Scoop Up. That's the main different card that's in here. Super Scoop Up flipping heads on the Torterra is soul breaking. So yeah, really cool. And then just very briefly, the last one we may see here, I wanted to build something using Palkia level X because this card is kind of nuts. It forces the opponent to switch your active with one of your bench, and then you do the same to them. So normally they're just going to bring in your Claydol or the Palkia itself because it's got a free energy retreat, and it's really annoying. Its attack is pretty bad too, so you don't really generally want to attack with it. But Magnezone over here allows you to retreat for nothing if you have a Metal Energy attached, and also happens to do 80 damage for free Metal Energy attached. So you can bring in the opponent's Claydol, your non-Magnezone Pokemon that gets brought in, say the Claydol of your own, has a Metal Energy attached, retreats for 0 energy, and then the Magnezone KOs their Claydol for 80. It can scale up as well. If you have 4 or 5 energy on this thing, it does even more, so it can handle the one-hit KO stuff as well. And that is why we have it with Togekiss. Once again, Togekiss does not have to be attaching different types of energy. It can attach 5 of the same if you find 5 of the same. So it's used here to flood the energy board a fair bit. We can also use the Magneton to recover energy back into the hand, and then Claydol, put them to the bottom of the deck. If we can shuffle the deck with a Celia or a Bebe Search or something, then we can have more outs with Togekiss. And since this deck isn't playing the Scramble Energies and stuff, maybe that's the better way of doing this. Didn't have the time to test it. We do have Crystal Beach in here as well. So that's pretty much that. The main one we've got to see is the Skittles deck. This deck is absolutely absurd and definitely the #1 choice for today. So let's see it in action and see how it goes.
And you just don't have a stadium you want, and you end up running Taurus or something.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
That's okay.
Sounds like Matt's still building.
It doesn't surprise me. Right, I should, before I change my color probably, I'm just realizing I should probably remove the zone so I'm able to go get the stuff later. You know, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I designed the areas to be impossible for you to just break into like that without being changing to black or something dumb.
Yep. Alright. Let's see if we can get even like 10% lucky on this one. I would say so. Okay.
And I do not.
Oh yeah, this is the other thing I never quite got round to building. This ought to be interesting. Okay, yeah, I will take my draw here.
Okay.
Sorry, gotta get a drink real quick. Let's go for Tails. Alright, that's fine. Ah, yes, the other idea for it. Yep, it's pretty. I mean, it's a fairly self-explanatory part that way, isn't it? But
Multi.
Yep.
And soul charge for 40.
Yep, because we have a +20 on the fighting. That's fine. This thing only needs to survive a single turn anyways, and it's already done that, so... pretty straightforward. We've got Psychic. I have 2 Togepi already in hand, so we're just going to put those down, and I am going to call for family here. Yeah, I didn't want any...
disrespecting any Dust Noirs.
Dust Noir is a card that doesn't exist. No, we're fine, we're fine. So we're going to get the chicken. We're going to get the Baltoy. Just thinking if there's a third I actually want to get here. Yeah, actually there might be. It's kind of funny because you were like, oh, disrespected Dust Noir. I mean, kind of in a way, yeah. I do have this to respect it, however.
Oh.
In a slightly different fashion. Go ahead. How are you doing, pal?
Quick ball.
Yep.
What does this do against Dust Noir?
Well, I mean, it doesn't do anything against the ability, but it stops it from killing you, ever.
Hit Soul Rock.
Yep.
I have a second quick ball.
Dust Noir's not a great matchup for this deck, as it turns out, because it resists colorless as well, so you can't, like... It bypasses, like, everything this deck does well once you hit low price counts, so, it's really annoying, to be honest. Plus, having to play around it the whole game means that you can't set up a second Ho-Oh very easily, so, you know.
Roseanne's?
Yep. I was going to say, I did notice a distinct lack of artificial objects on the bench at this first turn here, which is typical for going first, I know, but...
Okay, Lunatone and a Shuppet.
Yep. Seems good.
Finish both. Lunatone. Guard Psychic Energy.
Yep. Yeah, you can see why, in theory, the idea of this is quite nice. You happen to start the good energy, though. Like, if you didn't start the good energy, this deck falls.
Yeah, the energy is the problem. Like, I did cut down to Soul Rocks, actually, so it's only a secondary lead.
Yeah.
Normally it's lead, Shuppet, and Dissension.
I guess, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, no, just nothing from the bench. I'm just going to take my knockout.
Yep.
Put Psychic on the Shuppet.
Yep. Seems pretty good. Right, we will draw. Oh, well, that changes everything. I just top deck the Claydol instead of having to Celio for it, sure. I had the plan, but it looks like I don't need to do that, so let's just grab Togekiss instead. And let's get the fun started here. We're gonna Rare Candy into that Togekiss and go for Serene Grace.
And Rift completely?
Absolutely not. It's not an entire hit, but it's more than good enough right now. Considering I haven't used Claydol yet, and I still have, like, what, potentially 15 energy in deck right now, so we're probably still fine. Yeah, I'm gonna pitch these two to the bottom. I think it's gotta be that order, actually. And use the Claydol so we can draw 5. Yep, seems good. Get that. Togetic, Ho-Oh, Unknown G to the active to help against the Banette's Ghost Head, potentially. I don't know. You can't kill me otherwise unless you like plus power or something, so we're fine. And we will take the return knockout with Rainbow Burn for 80 here.
Okay, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to...
How do you respond to that? So not bad, right? To going second after getting Pachi KO, we just swing for 80 damage, you know. Normal deck things here, right? This is fucking absurd. I'm just gonna say this card it's not always gonna work like this, and sometimes it works better than this. Actually, I only got 3 energy, but you know.
Fighting resist as well.
Yes, it does.
Oh wait, no, actually, hang on. I got. Oh, yeah.
If you've got a Soul Rock, though, you will be able to bypass that.
Yeah.
But yes, it actually does have a fighting resistance as well.
I have the Soul Rock.
Yep. That's fine. Yeah, I'm with you with this one as well, though, pal. I absolutely love the idea with this. I think the only reason I didn't use Ho-Oh EX in the end is because I didn't have any way of actually, like, properly trying to use it.
Felicities.
Yep.
Discarding Beach and... Roseanne's.
Okay, yep.
Draw 4. Okay, that makes things nice and easy. Lunatone, discard Banette, draw 1.
Sure.
Evolve into Banette.
Yep.
Fuck. Wait, no, hang on. Play a Lunatone. Discard Banette, draw 1 more.
Sure. This only has to put 1 back, yeah. Shuffle it into your deck, yeah. Yeah, okay. Makes sense then.
Yeah, let's get these out of the way. ER2. You might rage me. ER2-2.
Yeah, of course. That's what you deserve, to be honest, for playing this card.
You're not wrong.
I have no love lost for that. Yeah, you don't deserve to flip heads with that card.
Just take it 20.
Yep. Alright, we will draw. What do we want from that? How about we try this again? Pivot search.
Do either of you have Pokédex handy in your decks?
I definitely don't in here. I know I saw some, but we haven't seen one played yet.
I don't know my exact list.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd say between that and plus powers.
Just need to copy paste one. Seems like the deck or the card searcher is not working.
Hey, wrong E.
Ah.
Yeah.
The reason
Uh-huh.
the little E button is there.
Uh-huh. Right, so we're grabbing Togekiss off a Baby Search, obviously. We are going to evolve that because I went Togetit last turn with that. So Serene Grace number 2. Once that loads up, Serene Grace number 2. Oh, that is much more like it. Okay. Once Matt stops like interrupting my stuff. I'm kidding, obviously, but yeah, we got 5, so seems pretty good. I don't need to hit more than like 80 at any given time with that though, so I guess we're just this isn't really gonna work, is it? Oh no, it did. Cool. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna put one on one of the Togekiss. Honestly, if it's not hitting Banette, I can probably attack with the Togekiss at some point in this game. I'm gonna put a Darkness on said Togekiss as well. We will thinking on Claydol. I think we want to just do that one. Get the 5 draw here. I might as well put it down. We've got Crystal Beach. There's no point in not putting it down, considering. And
Only showing my own Crystal Beaches. So.
Yeah, considering I just saw it as well, it's like I don't have the discard effects you do, so I might as well just put it down, right? And yeah, we'll just Rainbow Burn for the knockout here. Pretty much did exactly what I needed to on that turn. It's pretty good. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know very many.
Maintenance?
Yep. Yeah, discarding for the Lunaton, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what would have stood up to that.
I should not. I fucked up. I should have discarded the Shuppet instead of the Roseanne.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what was gonna stand up to that. I'll be honest with you.
No energy at that point.
That could have been a Rainbow Burn for, let's see, I had the fire. That could have actually been a Rainbow Burn for like 140 damage on, oh wait, no, I even put the Fighting on that because I attacked Dark from hand. That could have been a Rainbow Burn for 160 on turn 3. I don't know what deck stands up to that, I'll be honest with you.
You just gotta be more aggro.
I hit you for turn 2 for 80 damage. I don't know what more you can do with that. Like, you were as aggro as you could be, I think. You KO Pachi on the second turn of the game going first, and I just responded with a turn 2 80 into a turn 3 effective 160. I don't know what you were going to do about that.
I don't think they have the damage to keep up with it.
And also, even if you did, like, obviously the Banette you couldn't really kill me with because of Unknown G. That's the whole point, and you had to have attacked with its actual thing, which then runs into Phoenix turn. Which I would have actually gotten.
The mid-attack I have to find energy, because otherwise it goes to 0, I put 7 on, and I don't care. Exactly.
So it's... There was more than just Dust Noir is why I put the Unknown G in here. That's the obvious bit for it. Like, yes, it's very good against the Dust Noir in terms of it actually doing damage, which was the big bit that kind of got me in the end, because I just couldn't get through a single Dust Noir when you had like 2 prizes left. But it does more than just that, and this was a pretty good show of why actually I put the 1 copy in. It's funny because even if both of your ER2s hit there, I still would have had the knockout in return with it, you know, because yeah, you discard 2 of those energy on the active. I just don't attach to the Togekiss. I just put the 2 there anyway, so I still had it. Yeah. Absolutely nuts. Oh, well, I'm glad this has got one good game at the very least. Because, you know.
Yeah. Looks like Matt's a good point as well, so...
Yep, let's go. Oh, I just realized I have... It's fine. It's for my second deck.
Oh, yeah,
if you guys want to run it back, you can too, but...
No, it's fine. I have like 4 decks out today, to be honest. There's 2 that I really want to play, and then 1 benefits from Majestic Dawn but doesn't need it. And then the other one's just silly because it's like, you know, wanted to try and build something reasonable. It's like that isn't just this, right? I've wanted to play this deck for ages, to be honest, as soon as I noticed that the Ho-Oh actually keeps its energy if it flips heads with Phoenix Turn. Because that makes it so much better, right? Like, if it was just discard everything that's on the Ho-Oh and it just lives, that's kind of terrible, because then you've got a Togekiss next turn again in order to do anything with it. But
you don't even. I'm not sure if you even want it to be a Ho-Oh be active at that point, because it's a 4 energy attack. It's a bit of a clunker.
yeah, yeah, it's just like hella awkward at that stage. But yeah, I'm willing to give this another shot though. Like I said, I mean, it's very similar to what I played back in Gen 2 in the Expedition set, right? It's because I played the Ho-Oh with Venusaur at that point, which didn't have the same explosivity in terms of I'm going to attach 5 energy for my deck sort of thing, but it let you attach twice in the turn. And this was the one thing I haven't yet looked at, because I honestly thought this card was shit at this point, because it doesn't have Absol and doesn't have fuck the other one. It doesn't have the Cessation Crystal.
Yeah, that was a deck I was going to say I might try this next week,
Yeah.
because of the bans hitting it indirectly.
I just couldn't
like that.
not play it.
That's fair. Right, what do we want?
Heads, I suppose.
Yep. I mean, you might still have something with it here, because there is like it's not unreasonable. I just like I was having a hard time last week. Oh jeez, I was having a hard time last round trying to keep up with this thing. I have no idea how it's going to keep up this time around. That's more or less it. Right, I have a Dark for this. I have Celio, so we will. I should probably have sorted the deck before I went in. Whatever.
House is probably just bad in general. I'm not sure if you do attach to it, even if you have the energy here, because it's fat as well.
I mean, I do get that. Right, so we do want to grab a Baltoy out with that. Just checking the rest of the stuff with it here real quick. Okay, do I want to put that down now? I guess so. Yeah, we'll put the Ho-Oh down. I don't know if it's going to be good in this match, but we'll put Crystal Beach down anyway, because I don't want it in my hand. And then we'll go for Find a Friend. So if we get heads, get a Pokemon to the hand, but we don't. So you would think with something as happy as this that there'd be lots of friends for it, but no, not in this case. Okay. Yep.
It even brought Skittles! You can say no to that.
Yeah, we're not playing Beedrill at the moment, pal, because we don't have the right one for it. Yep.
I might try it next week, but again, I'm waiting for Fiona.
Yep.
I think it needs at least that, I think.
And pass.
Yeah, oh, you did just shuffle. Yeah, I was about to make sure that you did that. Okay, babies. Who needs a Pachirisu start, right? So we'll grab ourselves the Claydol.
Does she appear in like the anime or games?
She is the
like...
box lady in Gen 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah.
Do you ever see her, or is it just her name?
You can. She is next to the contest hall in Heartthrum. And if you do go see her, she can actually give you an Eevee in Platinum, so... although I don't think that's until post-game, but you can still get it, so there is that. Okay, I do have an attach, it's just where do I want it here? You know what, there's not a lot of pressure going on at the moment. I think I will just put it active. We will Claydol with the last card here, so this goes to bottom. Grab ourselves our 6. Well, you know, sometimes you just hit it, and I kind of wish I didn't attach it there now. Whatever. Rare Candy Togekiss. So we'll use the Serene Grace. And well, sometimes you just hit it.
Yeah, looking it up, the bit she gives the Eevee even in Diamond Pearl,
Oh,
but in Diamond Pearl it's in post game because it needs Nat Dex.
Fair enough.
Whereas in Platinum it's whenever.
Okay, fair dues. We do have a Togekiss that I will evolve to Zero Retreat here. That's why I'm playing this one and not the new one, because 10 less HP but Zero Retreat. And yeah, I can't knock it out because of Attach in the Dark here, but I can still hit it for 80, which is significant enough here. Certainly not hitting me back, so...
Evolve, attach, Tat,
Strength Charm, yep, okay.
Rest of the hand was 2 more Strength Charms.
Fair dues, fair dues. Right, so get this out. So I'm just gonna flip it from here. I'm not gonna bother dragging out. So okay, you get the 6, I get the 3. That's fine.
No.
Super. I mean, I know you had to, but it's just like super risky before you get Claydol out to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that was. Yeah, it's pass.
Okay, we will draw. Okay, so where do we want to go from here? Bebe Search seems reasonable. Let's do that. Grab ourselves out. Yeah, they don't do anything otherwise, so that's fine. Grab ourselves out another bird, I guess. It's probably alright. So we'll bench it, we'll attach, we will babies, I've already done that bit. We will Claydol for the 6. And then we'll just Rainbow Burn for the 80 here. Okay, yep.
Go Darkwing Flaps for 40.
It'll be 50, right, from the thing. So that's 50 and then discard a random card out the hand, right?
Well, because DRE?
No, because...
Shuffles.
Because he had a Strength Charm.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, it shuffles, it doesn't discard, okay. Well, I've shuffled my hand, so what is this like? Yeah, pull one out and shuffle that back, right?
Oh, without looking, sorry.
Without looking, okay. Well, that's fine, it doesn't matter. Oh no, you got rid of an energy in a deck that plays like 19 energy, who would have guessed? I'm only being like sort of facetious with it here. Yeah, and also the damage, you might as well.
I'm not sure shuffling energy even hurts the deck.
No, it probably doesn't, because I do have Celio, so...
It sounds like, hey, I have one less card in my hand for Claydol and more energy in my deck for Togekiss.
Speak of the bird. Yeah, so we will go ahead and evolve and Serene Grace. And same as before, we hit 4.
Okay, I mean I can scoop off of that, right?
Yeah, because I actually had one different. I have one different that was a psychic, so it wouldn't have mattered there. But I was going to attach 2 and then go, yeah, the one for this stuff. Yeah, this card is kind of nuts if it actually gets to set up, and even without starting Pachirisu, it can set up. It's not impossible. Yeah, this card is very silly.
I think this deck benefits a lot from Cess going out, because Cess decks are what beat this.
Cess is a big problem for sure, but that would just mean I would have to play the Windstorm as well as the Pachirisu. Is the reason you play Patchy instead of Taurus in here is because Cess actually gets wrecked by Pachirisu, right? So You can't stockpile Cess in your hand because Pachirisu will discard the ones from the hand as well. You can't like keep it out otherwise because it's, you know, Pachi's gonna discard it. And sooner or later you're just gonna run out of Cessation Crystal because of that. So you don't generally want to play like Quagsire with Cessation Crystal, right? So it's not that great now, you know. Right, well, that's this one done for sure. I imagine Chicken is definitely not seeing it past this round, but it doesn't need to. This is about the extent of what the deck can do anyway, so this is fine. I just wanted to play it because it was cool. Right. On that note, I don't know if you want to shift over or if I'm shifting, Matt, but if you want to play Pepper, then because
Sure.
I know you've got to go fairly early for the pre-release stuff. Good luck with that, by the way.
Thank you.
So, want to at least give you you know, game against both of us first, since it's just us two today.
Right, this is not a...
Heads or tails, sir?
Let me put out my initials. Heads.
Yeah, Pal's giving you the good luck on the pre-release too. You know what's kind of nuts with that as well, though, is like, I went second in both of those games. I guess it kind of matters a bit for like you not being able to Roseanne or something turn one, but it's like I went second in both of those games and the exact same result happened both times. It was kind of, you know, in terms of getting Togekiss and Claydol and stuff down on turn 2, it's pretty silly. If I went first against you there, I probably would have had a harder time because I was starting Togepi instead of Pachirisu, right? So I wouldn't have been able to bench Baltoy straight away, but, you know.
I think I've been getting a lot of like dead hands with this. It doesn't. I have a ton of like strength.
2 Palkia starts in a row. I assume that's a 1-1 line.
No, I got a 2-2.
Yeah, I
probably should be 1-1.
I was thinking it should be 2-2. I mean, it was 2-2 in the. It was 2-2 in the online lists. Yeah, let's get.
Discarding for Lunatone. Draw 1.
I think it's because you really want to have it down, and if it gets prized, it's a massive detriment to the deck in general, is why you play the 2.
Action
Right,
multiply.
yeah. Even 20% chance to prize one piece.
Yeah.
Of the other.
Yeah, and it's pretty detrimental to that deck if you do. Yeah, I put the Crystal Beaches back in. I didn't have them in initially because my main idea when I build these things, because I don't have any idea how they actually play, right, is I want to build as consistent a thing as I can first and then try and tech it out later.
Full charge attached to the Baltoy is not optional.
No, it is not. Yeah, so it's like I want to try and build as consistent as I can first, so I had like 20 energy and a third warp point instead of the Crystal Beaches. But after having played a bit, it's like, yeah, one of the biggest ways that I end up like losing is just because Scramble Energy kind of messes up a lot of stuff. So kind of got to force that out here.
Jeez. Guess I'm actually gonna take Claydol or Baltoy.
Feels like you kind of have to in this format, right? Like if you don't get Claydol set up quick enough, you're probably not going to be able to keep pace.
Yeah, Strength Charm and Pass.
But then that's the other bit that really sucks, isn't it? Is when you don't get the energy attached because of it.
Yeah.
Play a Lunatone. Evolve to Claydol. Yeah, Stelios first for a...
Yeah, I would have... If I had gone for the energy, then I'm kind of stuck and probably would have missed the attachment next turn anyway.
Yeah.
I guess it's the
Claydol.
logic.
Yep. For 6.
And I totally get that. I would have done the same thing. I would have forsaken the energy attach here as well. It just really sucks because that's obviously 2 turns in a row that you've not had it, so...
Quick ball. Banette. Shuffle to the top.
Yeah, that was how it was before. Maybe I should actually check now, because Fastball did that, but like maybe Quick Ball
Technically
was
matters here as well, because I bottomed it with Claydol.
Yeah. Let me just quickly see if there's anything on the compendium about Quick Ball, because
I'm about to use my Lunatomes, so...
Yeah, Quick Ball. If I use Quick Ball on the very first revealed card as a Pokemon, do I still have to shuffle my deck? No. If the first revealed card is a Pokemon, then the deck is not shuffled, and there are no other revealed cards to shuffle back in.
Okay. Well, Lunatome, discard a Banette.
Yeah, that is kind of how we thought about it before. That's how Fastball ended up working, but that was 2 generations ago and a company ago, so, you know... It's possible that this one...
discard a Psychic Energy.
I really like the idea of this.
Attach Psychic to
really
Shup it.
Good way to keep milling.
And I will Soul Charge, put the Psychic on the Shup it.
So, the only reason I didn't end up getting this to work myself, I think, is because I wasn't using Banette. I was trying to use Cresselia and Lucario because of the whole, like, snipe, take 2 pies type combination deal, and the energy balance was just not there. But it's hard because you've got to put a fighting energy down, right, to...
My build focuses more on Soul Rock as a way of enabling Lunatone, but is okay with starting it as long as it can find its fighting energy.
Yeah.
I run two native fightings for Roseanne targets basically, and 4 multi because the deck's all just multi. The deck
really sucks when you have to have 2 multi down though.
Yeah, it's like the price it pays, but I don't see how the energy is gonna work.
No, I get it. It's just so painful when because I had that with the Swampert bullshit before, right? Where you know.
Energy removal. I think I'll find tech hold it.
ER2 is just like such a. You don't have to shuffle them, by the way.
But
they are in any order that you choose, so if there was ever any sort of preference, you don't actually have to shuffle them.
I think it matters if you're drawing off the bottom for whatever reason. But
it matters when I get to the bottom of my deck with Togekiss and I'm like, I want to put the energy on the bottom that I'm guaranteed to get.
Okay, so pass, I guess. Just realizing I bet this deck doesn't actually play Claydol, right?
It didn't on the archive stuff because it played like 4 Absol, 4 Cess and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm realizing I can't actually use Papio.
ER2.
Because I just guessed the Claydol.
Yeah, that's welcome to the issue I've had for the last 2 weeks trying to make Palkia level X work.
Yeah.
It is the exact reason why I've been having such a hard time dealing with, like, killing the opponent's Claydol, because it's like, I just gussed it, it's great! No.
So, Claydol, draw 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. You just cut Claydol and run more consistency.
For this deck it's kind of hard, but for a lot of the other decks you would play like, you know, multiple switch and whatnot instead. That's your kind of answer, but which is not an unreasonable answer, but
Shuppet. Bit. Oh, fuck's sake. Twice buttoned, not hand buttoned. Bebes.
Ah, I see you have learned from Sai's philosophy of this. I must put all of my cards to the bottom of the deck now when I put them into.
Discard Banette for Lunatone. Draw 1. Discard Beach for Lunatone. Draw 1. I have not yet manually attached. I will attach Psychic to the Shuppet. Treat out the Soul Rock. And Spiteful Pain for 80. Shuffling in a Banette. Is shuffle right?
Yeah. No, you lost zone it. Get it out of here.
I'll tell you the bottom deck or something daft like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know. Would be funny though.
Yeah, there's a tiny problem with this match, which I'm noticing right now. Little brown symbols.
Huh.
I don't really see how that's a problem for a deck that has Lunatone and Soul Rock in it, but you know.
I guess. What's that? What do we want to do?
Are you
Guess
going
I'll
back in?
Cosmic Power.
I was going to say you're going back into the deck here, because yeah. Just wanted to make sure I got shuffled
okay.
beforehand.
I think I need to.
Because I think that would constitute a major game error at that point. Yeah.
And then we'll just swarm.
Yep. So
And then the Strength Chant goes away as well, because you attacked.
Yeah.
Really stupid how that works, but whatever.
It's a little wacky.
It's just funny. It's like here, let me call for family on my Pachirisu. Oh wait, now I discard my Strength Chant. You know, very silly.
Claydol.
Ah, I see the problem on this board.
What did you get off the quick ball?
Claydol.
Claydol.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be real nice on your side right now. But
Yeah.
Bebes.
Nice.
Becca.
it's never gonna stop being funny, you know.
Search out Banette. Shot horror. This one's actually being used. It's evolving. I will Lunatone away Crystal Beach. Wait. Oh, no, cool. Eagle.
Yeah, that's fine.
Draw 4. Attach a Psychic to the Banette. And I'm going to... take another knockout. Shuffling in Banette.
Yeah, this was the main problem I had with this deck in the end. It's just like, it's so fragile. The Murkrow just die instantly, and that's like, it's not the worst when you don't give up energy, but the payout is you do 60 damage, right? So
yeah, sorry, it was hard. It's hard to tune that grip, so that little that snap, so it doesn't get in the way of when you want it to.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I just don't bother. To me, it's a fruitless effort. I understand the idea, but it doesn't even show enough of the card to make it for me anyway, because if you had like 2 attacks on the thing, it wouldn't show you that. So I get why, because you just zoom in on the card and you do the thing that way, and that's fine, but
Alright.
is that getting attached to the active? Or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it attaches to one of your guys. It doesn't have to. Yeah.
It's also to support Gen 1 stuff, but yeah, it does work in the wells.
Little.
Always been a level X to the left kind of guy. I mean, I can understand that, pal. Yeah, and obviously we're wanting to I wouldn't say build within the constraints is probably the wrong word for it, but ooh. Okay.
Well, in that case, and feint attack, Claydol.
Okay. Okay.
Well, even with Strength Charm, because of it being double rainbow that was attached, even with plus power there, you wouldn't have gotten a knockout with feint attack active, and there's Crystal Leech in play, so there's no way that you would have been able to, with the board state as it is, there was no way that Banette was dying there, which is embarrassing, but you know.
Yeah.
You know what? I did have another play I could have made. I should have done it. It's okay.
Oh.
Probably wouldn't have mattered.
Celio. Search for net. Discard for Lunatone. Discard Crystal Beach for Lunatone.
Yeah, that's the second problem, is why I don't do it that way as well. You've spotted it. Because it obscures the switch buttons right now.
It's because they're designed for breaks which go horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just amusing to me because yeah, you're seeing the reasons why I do that, why I don't use it that way. If I need to look at the card below, I'll just pull it out rather than.
One
That's funny.
into the HPS or 110.
Yeah, 110 on the Honchkrow level X.
On it. Attach a multi to the Soul Rock. Claydol for 2. Oh, that's funny.
I gotta start looking out for these sorts of decks though, man. Like, I know Banette's a known quantity, right? But it's not something that we've explored yet. But I've got to start looking out for these sorts of things because, yeah, there's a lot of times where it just like, I could probably have made a much simpler thing than what I actually play, and
Yeah. I'll take my knockout then. Just thinking of Banette.
Yeah, that was done just to get it out of the bench. Yeah.
Quick ball.
Yeah.
If they help you.
Not mattered then.
No.
You can't. I've fallen into this trap as well. It's not a break evolution, so also the deck actually shouldn't have been shuffled there, but
Okay. You're right. Luckily, we'll be going back.
yeah, that's fine. It's just one of those of that's what I actually went to the compendium to establish earlier. If you do not reveal anything, if the Pokemon is the first reveal thing, then the deck doesn't get shuffled because there's nothing to shuffle in.
It all. It's good. Yeah. So that's outs from here on. Yeah. Cool. What do we got here? Retreat and I guess we can Claydol again. Energy removal.
Ooh. There's at least something.
Something. 3. Alright, and what's this called? Darkness Wing for a knockout.
Yep. And then any one card from your discard back into the hand.
So you're taking out the net, okay?
Yep.
T. I guess I'll take ER too.
Well, have a multi. Play a Shuppet. Claydol for 2.
Take my prize cards.
Yeah, that would help.
Discard Soul Rock for Lunatone.
That's one. No need to ask if there's a Banette in the discard because one got KO'd, so, you know.
So,
Also, Pal was having fun earlier going, there you go, now it's paralyzed on the bench when you turn the Honchkrow double sideways. Like...
Discard Banette for second Lunatone. I haven't used a support yet.
That is one of the benefits of having them on the field until the end of the turn. Can't wait for that to get to fuck everybody up in Gen 5.
Indeed.
Have I played a supporter card this turn, like 50 cards into the game plan? It's like, hey, some decks could do it too. That's the stupid thing.
And a Psychic Energy. I've already attached, so I'm going to take my knockout.
That's what we're thinking. The energy removal did do something.
Yeah, I'll be a sec to turn my lights on so I can see my keyboard.
That would help. Yeah, even if it was early, that's why I'm thinking for that. Ah, quick ball. Yes. More Palkia!
That's exactly what I need.
I mean, I think you're all out of Urkrow, right? So...
Was on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe you should have put them in first before using quick ball.
On Roseanne again.
Fair.
I was hoping to get a Honchkrow.
You know what? That's understandable.
Okay.
Just to keep things proper. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that would be one of the main ways of getting back in with energy here, so...
Attach, strike farm. Claydol.
That's the other bit that I need to get better at doing is remembering, not even remembering, it's just like indicating when Claydols have been used. I might actually just like pull one of the dice out or something to use as a marker for when stuff has been used myself. I know you could like turn it sideways, etc., but it's probably easier for me to have the actual marker because then, you know, my turn is 90 degrees rather than 45, so...
Yeah, I set mine to 90, so...
It just makes more sense in the grand scheme of Pokemon.
Matt plays other games on TTS though, so...
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've seen plenty of times on the whole Steam thing.
This is an attachment. That's interesting.
Well, you removed the energy off of the active, so we had to attach active.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, your ER2s have been keeping my attaches busy for a while.
Most side hits were Sabot and Heat at most. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'll stay in and Darkness Flame for knockout. I take it EL2.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, this is Big Bird time. You don't have the resources to do anything else here.
Oop.
And that is the other reason why I don't. It's the
Got
zone.
caught in my swap zone.
The zone
That's
overlaps.
funny.
Yeah, that's the other reason why I don't want to do this, just in case of silly things like that.
I assume that's only when it's like this.
Yeah,
right?
so when
45.
look, it's just pointing over into the big square.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's funny. Let's put my Honchkrow break.
Attach fighting.
God, I wish they made a Honchkrow break. That would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. It's like that one Dodrio that can retreat even when it's paralyzed. It's just what's going on here.
Play a Battle Toy. Base. Search for a Banette. Evolve.
Yeah, it's suddenly becoming a bit closer than it looked, huh? But I think this shows the problem with decks like the Banette in the first place, but we'll get there as we at the end of this.
Plus power. Ignore resistance. Claydol for 3. Okay, that's interesting. ER2.
Oh, that's rough.
And I'll soul charge, put 30 on, so ignore.
You know, I never played with the card, but every time you say that, I still get flashbacks anyway because of fucking Legacy of the Duelist.
Soul charge.
Yeah, I will soul charge. One of the most broken cards to ever exist in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. It basically says, pay a few life points, get your entire board back from your graveyard. It's a
Yeah.
really-
Imagine in this situation if you could be like, give the opponent 3 prize cards and take back Claydol, Honchkrow, and Palkia level X from your discard. And yeah, you can't attack that turn, but who cares, right? You've just brought back like all of your guys.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like they basically all have energy on as well, equivalent of, because Yu-Gi-Oh! And nothing, and they don't care about that kind of thing.
What's the move? So we go Honchkrow. Strength charm. Do that and retreat it. Yeah, I mean, let's try something. Right? We'll attach, retreat. Wager.
Yep.
Okay.
The Marnie path of Gen 4.
Yep.
Alright, I've got to get back in the game. Let's see it. Oh, you guys are tryharding this too, okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just flipped the thing up now, I don't care. You're actually trying on this one.
6.
Well, I played all of it.
Do you now?
Claydol. Claydol. Alright, kill Claydol.
Damn it.
Yeah. What did you think was gonna happen? The thing I was worried about was that Honchkrow was just gonna stay active and then fin attack it, and that wouldn't have done enough because Strength Charm doesn't affect the bench. So that was the bit I was worried you were gonna do too hastily.
That would be sad.
It would also not be the first time that kind of mistake has happened here, so That's why I was just slightly concerned. I was going, don't do this too early because otherwise it's gonna mess you up, you know.
Felicities. Discarding Psychic and ER2. Draw 4.
Is that what we think the deck is right now? Just straight fire?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking I was going
No,
to
this
go
is
watch
a
my
very
deck
bad
at the
build.
moment because this is
Yeah.
obviously a bit.
Yeah, you kind of stripped him of like the thing with there. Yeah, I'll set up several turns before, I guess, but
Maintenance. Put back in.
that's not going to work until after the thing has stopped being searched.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what I'm more scared of running out of at the moment.
Yeah, the if a pile is being if a deck is being searched, then the any cards that are put on top of it don't go into the deck until it's stopped being searched, and then you've still got to pull them again.
Should put in 2 psychics. Lunatone, discard Felicities.
This might be the last chance you get to draw with Lunatone after all, so...
I think I hedge against.
It's very weird how similar this is to the standard Lunasol now. Greninja, discard draw. Greninja, discard draw. Attach, Soul Charge, attach.
Yeah, it's kind of neat, isn't it? I like this style of Lunatone.
Attach.
Okay. Yeah, so we're soul charging for 20 here because Solrot ignores resistance on with Lunatone in play. Yeah, no, I like this sort of Lunasol a lot better than the previous one of just going, yeah, you just don't get to play the game, you know. This I think is a lot better for the game as a whole, even if it isn't as good. And like, I think Rotom is going to kind of eclipse both of these two in like every deck that isn't exactly this. Because Rotom doesn't have to. It not only does it get 2 energy, it doesn't have to attach to do it either. So, Majestic Dawn Rotom is going to eclipse this idea for everything that isn't exactly discard Banette to get Banette back out of the discard sorting. You know. And yes, the words were chosen on purpose to say eclipsed it as well, because you know.
Let's see. How do I kill you?
How do I kill you this turn?
Yeah. But unironically.
Let's see, so you play Skyfield so you can Galarian Zigzagoon the Baltoy and then feint attack that, right?
We'll go Night Maintenance.
Ooh.
One dance.
Go. Claydol. No, +4 first.
Yeah.
Two. What's the problem? Yeah, I know I have to attach with them. Alright, so I guess in that case we attach then +4, then that should.
That is 3 special dark energy that's on that card, on that Honchkrow right now, good sir. That is terrifying.
A little bit overkill.
I see the
Porygon level X?
I see the problem here too. Yeah. Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll quick ball.
Let's not quick ball where your deck is.
Got Palkia X.
That is the 3rd time you have picked that card up off of quick ball.
Yep.
just pointing that out.
Just randomly quick balling legendaries.
It all. Okay. Well, we did what we could. Which means that I have to do 70, which means I have to
You
use...
cannot. I'm afraid.
Oh,
you
because
cannot pay. You cannot pay for the attack of Darkness Wind with Crystal Beach in play.
That only has 50. And you are still beaching. Because it has Dark Wind Flaps. It's not level X.
Yeah, I mean, I'll scoop there because I misplayed, but I forgot that I didn't have the level X in play.
Yeah,
Could have just attached here and we would have been good.
You could have. That was why I noticed it
Oh,
halfway through that turn as you were doing your Claydol stuff, and I was like, yeah, I see the problem that's going to come up here, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Top deck. Oh, that's actually really good top. Because I was about to search that with the Celios.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
I did this. To be fair, I did this earlier as well. I ended up getting the Claydol against you, and so I could Celio out the Togekiss and Red Candy down instead, you know.
Like at
I think
that
I would have
point,
won there, right?
I
Down a prize.
would have been
This guy comes out and bonks
like it would have been
this.
at that point. At this point, I'm scrambling to find my Shuppet
Kill
Banette
this, take a
combo.
prize. You have to one-shot the Honchkrow or you lose, I think.
Well,
Plus power is in hand to do that.
yeah.
No, I mean Honchkrow level X, obviously. I have.
Well, level X is coming.
Level X. Oh, the deck is 4/2/2, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
And if you can find level X and put out a healthy level X, that is a problem that I can't immediately solve.
Yeah,
4/2/2. 90
4/2/2.
realistically. That's real plus power.
Yeah, because the idea is that you never want to actually be doing as much with the regular Honchkrow, right? Your whole point is to get the level X and then attack with Murkrows for most of the game as much as you can. So you don't play free Honchkrow because you want to get the level X as much as possible. That's the one that's got
Probably
the 2 energy
it
attack.
with the Celios, because I got plenty of other way of finding the Banette afterwards.
So since you don't want as many physical Honchkrow in play, it makes a lot more sense to actually play just the 2/2 line for the level X, right? Because the Murkrow is capable of attacking via the Honchkrow here, so...
GG though, that was good.
You know, for a weakness matchup, I expected it was going to be a bit more one-sided than that, but holy crap, the Banette was just explosive off of that. You would think, oh yeah, it just dies in one hit to everything that way. So like they're trading KOs, but the Banette has to get 2 Psychic every time to do it, and isn't playing Double Rainbow because it's playing Crystal Beach. So like, yeah, you would think that would have been a lot more one-sided, but no, it was almost the other way around. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, Claydol was good there. I mean, obviously 4 dead cards was not good in general, but I don't know like if Claydol is even worth Palkia, or if Palkia is worth not having Claydol.
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? Again, the reason that it wasn't played in the normal list is because it leads with Absol, has Cessation Crystal in the deck, right? So your idea is to stop them from ever having the Claydol available to them, because your Absol Cess trying to rip the cards out of the hand and everything to...
And if they do get the Claydol, your Palkia is custom designed to bring it in and mess with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more that because Absol's thrown out in the game, you don't need to be set up as quickly. Your deck is relatively lean anyway with its setup, so you can just get away with not having Claydol.
Let's pull this one over here as well, so we can see all 3 decks with it here.
Because that's what I was looking at with Palkia. Because I realised pretty quick you don't want to have Palkia and Claydol in the same deck.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want... So I was thinking, what kind of low to the ground stuff can Palkia be in with and work? I tried to mess around with something like this, but I think it's just not got the power. Where the goal is literally to lock a Claydol inactive and snipe. But I think this is too slow to kill, too vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I know there was mention of a Swampert variant of this, but I don't think it has the snipe capabilities.
It doesn't really. Swampert EX does do a 20 snipe for the thing. It's like, yeah, discard 2, it does 60 for free, snipe 20 as well when you discard those 2. But obviously that then puts an EX in the active, which is a little bit awkward, but yeah, it can finish things off. But yeah. That one actually attacks with the Palkia rather than just leaving it otherwise, though, which I think is still relatively important for that kind of deck. Swampert can pull the energy from bench to active so long as they're water or fighting energy, so that you can actually use Hydro Reflect and move all of your energy to the bench so that if the Palkia gets knocked out, you keep all your energy in play.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many decks in this format are set up to be able to deal with Claydol being constantly forced active and then just not killed. Like, yeah, that does lead them cosmic power, but if they don't have the cards in the deck to make it work, let's get it out, they have to attach to it, and it's fat.
Yeah, it's relatively bulky, yeah. Yeah, with this kind of deck, I guess I would end up be looking at getting either one of the 2 warp points I've got left, or gunning for like the Togekiss drop on it, right? Because that kind of can get it out of nowhere. And you've seen I have no trouble in getting a decent number of energy off of Togekiss. So the worst I hit today was 3. The best I've hit in general has been 7 of different types. So. Yeah.
Like, the real benefit for me in this matchup is that I technically have a weakness counter, but it's not an amazing one because I still don't Oko.
Yeah.
I have power specific, like mostly to help with that, but still not ideal.
It's tough, isn't it? Like, this is in theory really, really bad for it. And don't get me wrong, it probably still is a bit, but my base Rainbow Wing KOs, so it's like I have a 50-50 chance of not dying to your thing, and I then just kill you straight back.
I need to win that,
right?
That coin flip.
And yeah, we didn't even see the Phoenix turn part of this for today's stuff, just because I ended up being so explosive otherwise with the... I will admit I high rolled a little bit with this, right, because I did turn 280 in both games, which is not normal, but it's usually by turn 3 is when you tend to be getting that sort of big swing, though. It's not actually that much slower than,
this was my variant I bought. I made it pretty quickly out of the shell of an older variant Carl left. But I did add my own twist to it, like moving to... Because what I decided to do was try and move away from Patchy as a lead.
Yeah.
Instead look for ways of... and run more Roseannes. instead for finding pokes.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's an experiment. I didn't want to copy your list, basically.
I understand that. No, the reason I don't like it is because the only draw you have in this deck is Claydol, and you are deliberately going down 2 outs on the Claydol in order to have 2 Roseanne, which functionally doesn't do that much actually. I know the Mawile is good, so you would be able to like find the stuff that way, but it's weird because then you've still got to use Roseanne to get your setup as well, which seems just a little bit too convoluted for me.
Maybe it is a bit, yeah. I was messing around with ideas.
I get it, and yeah, it's not like terrible, but I think you both have to start the Mawile and then use it to search the Roseanne, and then use it again to search your actual supporter to get the Claydol, most of the time, right? And that's
maybe
just putting it
to put even more into basic search, but at that point you're wasting too much space.
Yeah, and it's putting you too far behind and stuff there. Also, yeah, and I totally get that we don't have Cess in this exact format, but the whole reason Pachirisu was played is because you can use it to out Cessation Crystal, because that demolishes this deck otherwise, right? So if Cessation is in play, then you've got to manually attach to the bird, right? Whereas
I just can see that Patchy is always best with Cess in format, but because we have it banned, I thought I'd mess around with that with alternatives.
Yeah, and I can see it. It's not entirely.
Well, what you described is what would happen if I don't have a Spore in hand. If I do, then I can search Candy or something else relevant, like or the other kind of supporter to set up next turn.
Yeah, I didn't really have that many issues just having Candy available with this stuff, but even then, I play a bigger Togekiss liner here, right? Because I've got 4-2-3 as opposed to the 3-1-3 here, so I actually can quite often just go through the Togetic as well, and even if it's one turn late.
That was me trying to make room for Crystal Beaches.
Yeah, I see.
The quote-unquote mess with it, though you did the same thing as well.
Yeah,
on your next version.
Like I said, the initial build that I try and make with a lot of these things is to try and max the consistency of stuff out, because I don't know how well the deck is going to play anyway, and playing a deck that is teched to the extreme without having at least tried a basic version of it first is probably not going to end very well for you, because you either just draw all the text and then you just don't get to see what the deck actually does, or you know, you're less consistent in general, so you're just not going to get to see the overall game plan. But when I was thinking on it last night, I was looking at it going, okay, one of the only ways that this loses to the second deck that I want to play today is the Gaudilade stuff. The only times that it honestly lost to that was when Light Scramble and Double Rainbow got to do really nasty work with it, right? And that was kind of looking at it going, okay, Crystal Beach should probably be in here, because this deck is super cool actually. But
oh wow,
yeah,
that's like I was
I noticed.
It was exactly this.
This is amazing, by the way. This is like if I wasn't gonna play the Ho-Oh thing, this would have been 100% the deck I was bringing first off, because it is absolutely crazy good, synergistic all over the board as well. It literally has like everything you would want. Yeah, I'm not as keen on the EX, I will admit, but I think that's mostly just because it's a bit awkward, right? It has to be active in order to shut down the stuff. That is devastating against a Claydol if you work it out right, but it's like it then gives up 2 prizes. It's a really big liability that way, and it can't go to the level X either, which is actually amazing in this deck. Level X can bring down for a double rainbow energy. You can switch with Phoebe Stadium at any time to teleport, switch with Phoebe Stadium, and you go anywhere you want, so your board is completely mobile, and it lets you just lets you manipulate everything. With Cresselia bring down is such a good combo. It's like actually ridiculous. So Yeah, it's like if the opponent tries that trapping strat from the deck here, right? It's like, oh, you trap my Claydol. Well, no, because I have Guardian on the bench, right? And I just teleport in. You know, it's like if you have that, that just immediately invalidates this kind of strat, right? Where,
Yep.
yeah, I have 2 Warp Point in the deck, so I still have that sort of out as well. But yeah, because then it's like Warp Point plus Phoebe's, the opponent's got to bring in something awkward, and you just bring in Gaudilade to ruin everything, right? Yeah, wager I ended up looking at Steven more because the idea was that Claydol plus Steven is just insane, right? And yeah, you have not valued Beyblades at all, I have seen. That's one of the biggest cards that Claydol actually enables way more. It actually turns Beyblades into a better card than Celio because you put the card back into the deck so you can draw an extra card off of Claydol.
Right, yeah, that's true.
So basically every deck that I've built this week has had like at least, I think it's been 7 outs actually in terms of the Pokemon search that way, and then it's been like 3 or 4 Roseanne and 3 draw support because Claydol is so powerful that it's like you don't even really need actual draw support. My Ho-Oh deck doesn't play a single draw supporter because Claydol is just that strong when you get it up that you don't even need them. It's kind of insane.
Without assessing its like around to really punish this kind of over-reliance on Claydol, it's easy to do that kind of thing. If we did have Cess though, I'd probably be cutting out about 5 and running some extra draws instead, just in case I need to dig for Windstorm.
No. If Cess was in the format, I would swap the Taurus for Pachi, and I would probably play 2 Windstorming here, and that would be enough. Because Windstorm by itself turns all your abilities back on, and if you can Smash Short, that actually just about kills most of the Cess setups, right? Because you're probably, if you're not getting rid of 2 of them, they've got a Castaway back into it, right? And Castaway has a nasty habit of leaving the Cess in play, like in their hand, to discard with the Pachirisu. And if they put it into play, then you just Windstorm 2 Cess anyway, and that's the same thing. So, Pachirisu instead of the Tauros would be the play here instead. The Tauros was in here because Crystal Beach messes this deck up a lot. And as you've seen this week, Crystal Beach was rather prevalent in quite a lot of the bits here. So,
I think you need more than 2 stadiums at that point.
Well, yeah, that's why.
Oh, wait, you got Windstorm. Yeah, Windstorm.
Yeah, we'd have Windstorm at that stage in here, so. But then again, the thing is, you wouldn't really play this deck in that sort of format anyway, because you would also have Psychic Lock, and Psychic Lock is just a better deck, right?
Yeah.
Not by too much, mind you, because the synergy of Psy Shadow's damage plus, you know, getting extra energy on board is like stupidly good for it. But it is still better because Psy Shadow is just a blanket stop, right? The God of War is nice and all, the EX one, but it's such a liability if the opponent actually, you know, goes after it at all, and it's not really going to be capable of attacking in this deck. So, like, what is it? What would you do with this if in the actual format, if the opponent was also playing like, you know, Plot Start deck and they just like Sonic Bladed it or something, right? Goes up to 100 and then it just gets picked off later on for 2 prizes. It seems really underwhelming at that stage.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is just imprison 4 point. It's just an imprison spam.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do that, you want level X as well, but then you're running a fit Guardian line, because you definitely want 2 regular Gardevoir for that.
Yeah.
No, I get the idea.
I think you can do it with just War Point. You don't need to imprison that many times in the game. For it to be
yeah, it depends what you're up
decider.
against, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like if they only get 1 Claydol, then that's probably all you need to hit, and you're good.
Especially because an imprisoned Claydol stays on the bench, so it's a bench sitter.
It do be sitting there.
Do you want to run Dust Noir in a deck that's trying to do that then? Take advantage of the fact that they can't just overload their bench.
Hey, Dusknoir is a pretty wacky shot on stuff, but it would fit. It's just like, how on earth are you getting that in here, right? You know?
Yeah, like, space is obviously the problem. Especially if you maintain the crest. Yeah, I get the problem. But But it does sound like a great way of locking down the board, because an imprisoned Claydol is just taking up bench space. You never send it back, so that means they've got one less bench space before Dusknoir starts pushing things back. There's a pretty good chance you're just going to lock them out of Claydol forever.
Yeah. No, there would be a reason for it. It's just, again, how do you get it in is the only thing, really, because you've also got to manage your own bench space with stuff that way. That's one thing we've noticed noticed in the games today. Is like, yeah, your own bench is kind of hard to manage at times with this. If you're looking at, you've got to get like 1, maybe 2 Claydol out, depending on the thing. You've got to get your attackers out. You're probably going to have a lingering benching unless you get Soul Charge twice in 2 turns and your Pachi dies. That's not usually how it goes. You usually have Pachi lingering on the field, right? And then it's like, oh, Cress is going to be there. You want at least one of these out because that makes the whole deck so much better when you don't damage yourself for 20 every time. You've also got a Gardevoir thing in. It's like, this is just one deck, right? The Ho-Oh thing has got to balance getting enough actual Ho-Ohs out, as well as a couple of Togekiss, really, for getting enough acceleration to them. And then you've got the Claydol, and you've got the Mawile or the Pachi and stuff, right? It isn't as easy as it looks, and all of that goes over 4 Pokemon on the bench.
So if a Dusknoir comes down, your
Claydol just disappears, So it's not as easy as it sounds to go ahead and just go, oh yeah, you play this because it's great. It's like, it's not just the deck space you've got to look at. The bench space is actually really hard to manage as well. So sometimes Dusknoir can't even actually come out because of that. But if it does, oh god. It'd be devastating.
We have
right.
around, or
yeah, I definitely want to show this off at least, because it is really cool. It's really neat that you ended up thinking of this as well, though. That's awesome. I guess I should probably stick here, considering the stuff. Do we want to talk about hitting anything? I know Worlds format obviously doesn't have it, but after that I guess it would still be a thing. Do we want to mention anything that way, or should we just leave it for just now, consider it's only the 3 of us? Because I think it's pretty clear cut what would get hit from here, right? There's only really 3 targets.
Yeah, like Ho-Oh,
Banette.
Yeah, it's the chickens and the puppet is like the only things that you can really hit here, right? Because I mean, Togekiss is potentially, but like, I think it's more fun. Yeah. And then, yeah, nothing else is even in this deck to hit because, yeah, what, you're gonna ban Solrock? I don't think so. It seems really simple.
Again, I consider it an enabler, a deck enabler, not a deck attacker, because you're not winning the game with Soul Charge.
Mm-hmm. That's what you think. Yeah, but and then I guess this wasn't your list. Your list is over here somewhere, I think. But yeah, you basically
this is the
this
the updated one. I
okay.
just took out the Claydols and put the Pokédex.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, so it was just Claydol that was in otherwise. So yeah, there literally isn't anything else to hit in there unless you want Palkia hit for some reason, which didn't even do anything. So.
Yeah. All it did was eat quick balls.
Yes, it did.
It really did. This does make Quick Ball better too, not having, having fewer targets that can run into.
Yep. Like I said, in the actual thing, I know you would have Cess and Castaway in here. In the actual thing, though, I don't remember if ER2 was played. It might have been. But, yeah, I remember, from the one I saw, I think it wasn't just like 4 Strength Charm and 4 Plus Power, right? You probably would have been taking out some of these for the Cessation Crystals. And I know Absol was played in here, because that was the idea, is you lead Absol.
Absol. Castaway.
But both of those cards were banned for their sins, and,
Yeah, there's no...
I would consider playing Honchkrow again, or playing Banette if we don't ban it. So if we want to see more of those, then I guess don't ban it.
Okay, so the one...
Yes, we played them.
Yeah, so the fact of Worlds format is at least 1 week is going to be all of the stuff anyway, would invalidate any reason I would have not to hit them, because the only reason I would say is that Banette with like Blissey, I think it was the so-called sausage deck. Don't understand why it was called that, but whatever. That was
people like naming their decks after food at the time.
Yeah, well, at least Skittles makes sense because Taste the Rainbow. Come on. Yeah, no. The only reason I would have against banning Banette is because Blissey Banette was actually one of the sort of main contenders to go up against the Gaudilade deck, right? If somebody wanted to bring a quote-unquote full power Plox, then Banette was one of the main things that was teched against that. But because Worlds format is bring everything whatever anyway, right? At least for 1 week, there is no reason not to hit it because it will be available anyway, right?
And
none of this affects our Worlds. I'm just talking about the format after that, I guess.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be more better things than Bane at that point. I know Scizor comes out next set that would definitely dunk on this deck for sure, even though it doesn't play many specials. It's just like, resistance to Psychic, get wrecked. So yeah, like that's another one of those sort of 1 energy, 2 energy type attacker things that there's plenty of them that come out. I don't think it's required to see this again. And like, I don't even know how you would build it different from this, because you need kind of discard from Lunatone and Felicities to actually make the Banette work most of the time, right?
Right, yeah.
So
discard outlets.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know if there's a different way that you would be able to build this, even otherwise. So like, it's kind of whatever.
I mean, I'd be happy to play a cut and paste version of this list though. Like I wouldn't have too many edits here.
Right. So it'd be that sort of question of, do you want the same deck to show up again, sort of thing, isn't it? Which, if the format is like, you counter Psychic or you die, then maybe it's worth having it around. But I don't know if with Gardevoir banned, that's actually going to be, a thing, right?
I would say, at least for me, the only reason we would potentially not ban these is because Sai and Leo aren't here, so they're just kind of like left out of it and never got a chance with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, or if they don't care, or if you don't see them playing these decks, then I would just be safe and kind of keep new things coming.
Yeah. This is why, I mean, like, I don't necessarily mind either way on this one. If you want, that's a good reason to keep them around if you want. I know Sai has played a bit against my Ho-Oh stuff at least, but hasn't played with it. And then, the rest of it, Honchkrow we've already tried, but we could still try it again anyway. It's not, like, the worst option out there. I wouldn't mind. If you want to hit them just because because we played them here, it's fine. If you want to leave them, sorry, Pepper.
Sorry, I think the Ho is a bit too strong to leave around with our other bands currently. So, it's obviously done well here today because most of its competition got banned or at least hurt in some way by bans, like the Gardevoir, all the Cess stuff. And while Mystic Dawn does come out with 2 big things, one which hits it for weakness, I think I'm not sure what else in the set other than like Empezon would deal with it well. Empezon was obviously a weakness matchup.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's one of those decks that was played quite a bit, but was never like the best deck in the room, right? Because Psychic Lock kills it and Empoleon just shreds it, right? And it's just, it's an interesting one in that aspect. But given the decks that have already been played beforehand, I could see why you would say that. I think this was the overall strongest thing that I tested this week, but it wasn't always as dominant as it showed today. Right? Like, this was a bit extreme of getting turn 2 like 80 setups, etc. That does not happen every time. And Glaceon is another one that you're missing that would absolutely wreck
the
this,
Glaceon.
right?
I just shreds this.
Glaceon is like actually the hardest counter to this deck you could ever imagine. Because while it's active, it just shuts off powers, and it's water. It's, you know. And it is
Glaceon level X?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
It now.
Level X, whilst it's active, stops the opponent from having any poke powers whatsoever.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. Its attack is like passable enough as well.
What's the baby Glaceon do?
I think it had some sort of agility-based attack. Let's have a look.
Huh.
That's not the one that was played.
There's one here.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Level
it's got
30
the... Oh boy.
for 1 agility.
Uh-huh.
30 damage as well for 1 energy.
Yep.
That's actually damn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so expect at least experimentation off of this card, probably an actual deck off of it in this one, because the level X is just cracked as well. Again, not the highest damage output on the stuff, unless you flip heads, right? But if you do, God, Avalanche is painful.
There's a lot of evolves from Eevee synergy this set as well.
Uh-huh.
Like the SBR and the Umbreon I think was good as well.
Huh.
Yes, it was. You know,
Yeah, Evolutions was a deck in its own right too, but
there's of course a Leafeon with level X.
Is there a ability or power Eevee?
no, there's not one that you can evolve with a power or anything, but the one that was used, search your deck for as many Eevee as you like and bench them. So, you know, it's not as if it's lacking its own setup here. You don't even have to play Pachirisu in the deck, because the Eevee sets itself up. Yeah, that's one of the many things I'm excited for in this next set coming, to be honest, but there's a lot. That's why I actually wouldn't even mind if we spent like more than 1 week on this one, to be honest. Even if it's like 1 week without bans, 1 week with, that would be more than fine, because there's so much in here that's worth looking at.
Yeah, absolutely don't mind taking an extra week with the new set coming out as well.
That's the other reason, isn't it? Yeah, that's the other reason, isn't it? Because you've got programming on here to do for the new set, Lost Origin stuff, right?
It's the research that takes all the time at this point, because I've got most of the code done.
At least modular enough, isn't it? So, but yeah.
Like these two right next to each other, as if to hint. There's other variants of Zong in there as well, like Amphi Zong. Which is mostly good because it beats Emperor Zong, which is this little guy can enable stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. Yeah, no, there's a lot to look at in this set,
with.
for sure.
We're lucky the arrow, though it's probably a bit too sad.
It's
Especially with the Bronzong on the same stat.
so brutal. They did the boy dirty, because you can't use the fossil support with it, because Old Amber is not a fossil. It's so mean.
Shame too, because that boy has a lot of potential. It could
Yep.
be really good, but the combination of that fossil form and Bronzong just means why?
Yep.
Why bother with it?
It's the only only fossil Pokemon in existence that doesn't actually have fossil in its name for the thing it comes from. So stupid.
That enables stuff with Mothim and Primate.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, this is a good set.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here, and of course there are decks from the previous format, like we were saying, with the Garchomp.
these
Paragon
two.
Z potentially as well.
Yeah.
Paragon 2 is busted as hell as far as support stuff goes. You might not even need to play Claydol in that deck. Like, bold claim, I know, but discard a supporter once per turn, use its effect on your evolving part. It's amazing, you know.
Call energy is another thing we've basically overlooked. So,
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, right? Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, call energy is in this deck, in this set even. And here's the, I highlight the whole thing. Here's the Rotom that I was mentioning before as well. 0 energy, search your discard for 2 basic energy, attach them to 1 Pokemon. It's... yeah, this is why the Solrock is not worth hitting any, even if you wanted to, because it's outclassed by this. Yeah, so... yeah, and this is to say nothing about some of the other attacker stuff in here. The Torterra, I actually have this deck built already. That's Pika showed me one that was like top 4 nats. Only played 1 copy of the Frenzy Plant Torterra here, so I just built it without it, and it actually still works really well. It's kind of insane. But yeah, like Scizor is a thing that enables Electrode from the previous set as well as a deck, and of course, 0 retreat basic returns.
Oh. Wow. Okay, this deck is stacked.
Really good
it's so good, and yeah, you could see
What's
why.
Not good in here. Okay.
Ambipom,
there's still
probably.
a good bit. Ambipom, Toxicroak.
You can see why I would actually kind of not mind spending like 2 rounds in here, just because I don't think we're even going to see like half the decks in one shot, even if everyone's playing in the same week.
Yeah.
And if you let this be Worlds format, it's just going to get stumped by all the Worlds meta decks.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gaudilade does make a big show, but then it does have its outs as well. Like Empoleon is good against it, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's probably going to get overshadowed if we just have that as the main thing. But I think it's a combination of a lot of stuff, right? It's like, this set is amazing, and I would like to see a lot of the stuff out of it. Worlds format in this thing is dominated by like 1-2 decks at most, and Pepper's got a lot of work to do, which is going to make him not be able to make as many decks and stuff as he'd like. So, if it's okay with you, then I think it'd be nice to spend a little bit longer in here, just to... even if it is like 1 week with everything and then 1 week with the ban list in play, so we can force different decks to be played, I think that would still work. If that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, is this Shining Cresselia, I think? Or Shiny.
Weird.
Oh, I can see why you would think that, yeah, but it's not quite. But I can see why you would think that, because yeah, some of the lighting on it does kind of make it look like a shiny one, doesn't it?
That and a bit of a dodge, and that and a less than perfect scan.
Yeah.
See if I can get a better coloured one off of the Pokemon DB, because there's an official database which has proper colours, but they're tiny resolution, so useless for this kind of thing.
I think the shiny one overall is a bit more purple. I think is it purple on the main body? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like purple body, blue head.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I have
blue crescents or whatever those are.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah, yeah. I have one in Gen 8, but I just forgot what the overall thing with it was.
Or purple on the proper one.
Neat.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool having the lighting difference off it though. I actually think this Cresselia is probably better overall. I think you play at least one of them, just because Future Sight is actually really cool, right? I have used Lunadance a few times before though, so maybe it's hard to give this one up, but yeah, like Future Sight is such a good fixer-upper, right, that feels like you'd probably want it. One thing we didn't get to see this week, and I think it's just because Sai wasn't here, we didn't get to see anything with the Darkrai and Weavile stuff, which ultimately wasn't quite strong enough, we found, but we did have, if I can bring it up without crashing the thing, I'll try. We did have Darkrai Weavile decks built because the synergy is fairly obvious, right? Weavile can turn your stuff to Dark type as well as accelerating Darks, and Darkrai level X increases the damage that your Dark Pokemon do by turning all of your basic Darks into specials. But that's not the only thing that you can do with it here. We had sneaky little combo I found halfway during the week that Sai ended up cottoning onto as well. Sydney Stadium is still in the format right now, so your Dark Pokemon can't be put to sleep, confused, or paralyzed. There's a Wigglytuff from Great Encounters that puts both active Pokemon to sleep, both yours and the opponent's, but with Dark Engage you can just nullify that with Sydney Stadium in play. And then the basic Darkrai does 80 damage for free energy if the opponent is asleep. So with the level X being on top of it, because you could use the old attack still, that's 110 plus sleep if they somehow stay alive, right? And that's pretty hard to deal with. It's a lot of setup though, and what I was finding is that Shadow Charge is actually too slow. Like, I know my main thing was Ho-Oh this week, but even just beyond that, 80 HP is not enough to survive like any attack that's worth its salt in the format, right? So Weavile is going down pretty quick, and you've got to keep replacing those because it's important to the combo for the stuff here. And if you aren't accelerating with it, you're taking free energy to do your main attack, which is hard to do over a long thing of turns. You're getting KO'd a lot as well, so it's hard to like make the comeback push. And yeah, if you're spending your like first, it's got to be turns 2 and 3 and stuff, right? Because you're not going to rare candy in the stage 1 deck. So it's got to be like turn 2, 3 Shadow Charge if you get away with it. And by then the opponent has just set up too much and is just killing your guys all the time. And it's not enough. It's so weird to say, but it's 0 energy Accelerate 2 just wasn't cutting it. It's so weird.
Yeah, the Darkrai not being able to take a DRE is probably what's killing it there. Like, even if it's taking a big damage hit for doing it, at least it gives a second option.
It would take a colossal damage hit because it doesn't turn any darkness energy into +10. It's only basics, so you're going -30 to do 2 at that point. So it's like you're only going to do what? I guess you're doing just the base 80, which is still fine, but 80 damage is not actually as impressive as it looks against a lot of decks, right?
Yeah, it's basically the standard number at this point, I'm noticing.
Right, and even most stage 1s, which are good, are hitting 90, so you've then got to play plus power in here as well? That doesn't seem right, you know.
Yeah, maybe
There might be space, but do you
So
kind
why-
of... Go on.
Why is it 80 and not, 110?
If it was compatible with double rainbow energy is what Pep is saying, right? So the idea would be that it's like attacking for free energy is hard to do if you're not like accelerating to it.
Yeah.
But so then if you could, you can't because it's not an evolve, but if you could put a double rainbow on this thing, that's not basic dark energy. So it would be cutting down the 2 basic energy that would be given +10 by the level X, as well as double rainbow's energies -10. So
I mean, 2 for 80 is pretty good.
yeah, like that's the kind of nice number you do look at for some of the other stuff here. But that's 2 for 80 with a lot of setup though, because you need a stadium and the Wigglytuff down to enable that every time.
Right.
Well, yeah.
It's a cool deck, and it is definitely not like, it's not terrible. It will win games and such, but it has a lot of issues with speed, and also capping at 100 HP means it dies to stuff that can hit that, which 2 of my free decks this week hit that very readily, and the other one is a fighting type, so get fucked. Gaudilade obviously destroys it, so whoops. Not much you could do about that. But yeah, the idea is really cool though, and it is successful enough on some of the stuff. It's just, yeah, if you have to spend like 2-3 turns shadow charging, you are probably already dead at that point. Unless the opponent just doesn't have a good, if they're too slow on their setup, right? Because as nice as these decks are, as good as Claydol can make them, decks are still decks in the end, and they will still brick if they choose to, right? So, such is the way. Right, okay. I don't know if anyone's even going to still watch by this time in terms of YouTube stuff, because we spent like 40 minutes discussing the stuff here, but we do still have a deck set up for another game here, so I suppose we should probably get into that.
Yeah, one last game I think I'm done for tonight.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that, I think. just... Yeah, I guess I'm going to bench that one as well. Let's go for Tails here. Yep, okay. We will draw... And we'll pass, go ahead.
Draw.
It's fine. Your only disappointment is not getting an energy there, it's fine.
Bench Magmar.
Yep. Yeah, see, you had an entirely separate idea to me in terms of this one. So I played this with Togekiss, because of course I did. It was actually pretty good, too.
Well, I know I'm gonna bet Ace.
Yep.
The base is back in.
Yep.
Check my deck. Not more likely to.
Anyway, I did say hi to either you or Sins Veg. So hello, Sins Matron Pika, how are you doing? Yeah, the heart of the cards can be exceptionally mean sometimes, that is for sure. Cruel Mistress. Speaking of cool, this Ralts is not having a good time. Yep.
Right.
Only one more. Oh, okay. Hopefully that's willfully rather than being laid off. But
Oh, I thought it was. I wasn't. What?
No.
No.
no, it's Pika's saying just got off work. Only one more day there. I'm like, yeah. Hopefully that's by will rather than
Attached to Mag.
Yeah, changing jobs. Okay, that's good.
No.
Yeah, I was thinking you might want a psychic balance here, right? Because you've been able to play a
okay.
fair bit. Doesn't seem like that bad of an idea.
Right.
Yeah. So we will draw. Could have done with you last turn. Could have made some more interesting plays with that, but okay. This is still fine. Alright, I have Celio. So at the very least we are gonna be gaming here. Says restaurant agree. Teacher in the middle school? Wow, nice. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can confirm we are gaming here. So I just want to take a look at the rest of the stuff going on here first, seeing what I may or may not have access to. Ooh, that one being prized is awkward. Not the end of the world, but awkward. Okay. So, how do we go from there? I think I just like play the hand out here as much as I can. We'll put down Phoebe Stadium. It's not actually going to do anything here, I just kind of want it out of the hand so I can deal with the other stuff. We'll go Rare Candy to Gaudilade. This is where I kind of wish I could do the other thing, but whatever. Psychic for this turn instead of last turn, because of course it was. You know. Shame, but whatever. And then we'll Claydol for the 6 here. As soon as I think I know why. Lag on the stuff. Tried to hold the deck too fast. Oh, it's so close to being amazing. Whatever, go ahead. It's like one card off of being the best hand I could have drawn there.
Handy?
Yep. Hey, cool dude. Still don't actually know the game loop for this, but who an hour anyway. Aw.
Attach.
Yep.
Base.
Okay, we gaming. Yeah, I mean, I can try and explain to you afterwards if you want. Like, we'll focus on this game for now, but I can easily go through the general idea of this afterwards if you like, cool dude. Yep.
Roll.
Claydol's ability is so good here. Oh. I was amusing because I was showing the Claydol to the stream there. I was highlighting it over, and so when you moved the card over the Claydol, it just came in the back of the card instead. And I was like, oops. Good stuff.
ER2.
Yep. That's kind of annoying.
Oh, I was the Tails, so.
Fair, fair. Yep, flare for 20. And go. Okay, let's go. I'll let you in on a secret. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Double rainbow is the draw, so I'd have been fine because I was one card away from greatness. I'm gonna Roseanne's. I actually don't need to sort the deck here because I know what I'm going for. It's the whole, oh no, I had to play a supporter to get my Claydol thing beforehand, and it's, yeah. So we're going to grab a Crest, and we're going to grab the Routes. And I'm going to just pull this out here right now, because spoilers, I have the Guardian hand. My hand was literally, like, Rare Candy, Gardevoir, and 2 ways of supporter searching Pokemon. And it was like, if one of those was a Routes, I would have had an attack last turn, potentially, and it would have been amazing. But anyway, yeah, so I am going to accelerate to the Cresselia here, since I don't have to on the active. Because Double Rainbow is a good card, who would have guessed? We are going to Claydol for just a 1 here, I think. So Claydol back, get up to 6 in hand. And we are going to reveal 1 prize and do Psychic Cut for 70, thanks to DRE. And we will just take that prize. Yep.
Draw.
Oh my god, Pika, that is the worst pun I have ever heard. You are going to Cresselerate? Like, accelerate, but somehow with Cresselia at the front of it? What the hell, dude? That doesn't even make sense. Oh my god.
TSD.
Okay. I will admit it actually took me longer than I would care to admit that I to get it, but you know. Yep, so grab a Pokemon out the discard, because you got 1 heads. Seems good. No, I understand. I've already put you in quite a rough spot here, so.
What point?
Sure. What's the best one to go for? So what's the deal here? Are you just gonna like flare me or something? Sure.
Bebes?
Yep.
Mortar?
Yep. Which you can't play this turn, because that did just come down.
Claydol 4.
God.
Magneton?
Yep.
ER2.
Yep. Ah, you got that one. Yep. So that goes away. That's fine.
Handy. Oh wait. Hang on. I could. Magneton discard Celios.
Yep.
Get back to basic fire.
Yep, because there are 2 in there.
Attach one to the Magmar. And left 20.
Yep. Alright, let's wrap this one up pretty much. We will go babies.
Oh, right. Oh, I remembered Phoebe, that's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not even Phoebe. Your Magmar was dying this time. Yeah, your
Yeah, it's like,
I was. If you didn't
yeah,
search,
I know what I'm dealing with that.
if you didn't search Magmortar, I was gonna kill your. I was gonna go for a kill on the Claydol, but I would have had to have hard drawn the thingy as well. But I have the level X, so I was going to accelerate to the active, attach, bring down the Magma.
Yeah, I should have stacked Magnet. I should have stacked Magnet. I forgot about Phoebe's when doing our planning.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot
So would have just done that.
That was a defensive walk point.
Yeah, understandable. I was considering this one, but then I was like, no, because if you flare it, then I go down to too low HP total, right? I still need the thingy otherwise though, so I might not have had it, but
I'm getting tired,
yeah.
so
No, it's okay.
I don't think this Magmar has it because I don't think the damage numbers are high enough. Honestly, 80 just not worth it for free energy, even with and you got to work around
So about that. Yeah, no, I think it is if you have, like something slightly more than just manually attaching every turn. And that's, I actually really like the Togekiss version of this.
I was trying to think of being sustainable with Magnetons.
That's,
I thought, if I'm discarding 2, I'm also playing into Claydol and...
That's fair, but then I played Magby in my list as well. I played a couple of them, because I'm like, it's not even that bad, to be honest. The attack is awful, obviously, on the Magby, but it's like, yeah, you can go ahead and bring out the Magmortar and Togekiss to it and never have to discard energy, right? 80 at that point is really good, and then the level X just like takes it over the top. Again, this was another, of course I played Togekiss because, this is like one, I need to flip these over on my side. This was like the third deck I played with Togekiss because I played Magnezone is what I built this off of initially. Yeah, you were mentioning the whole like Palkia Claydol anti-synergy thing. What if you put a Metal Energy on the Claydol and then put Magnezone down? It has 0 retreat. I actually have the deck up here as well. It has 0 retreat at that point. So it's, yeah, like Magnezone just enables you so long as you can attach one to, I've got to now sort this out again because it went into my hand. Yeah, the Magnezone just lets you Palkia every turn for whatever you want. And it happens to hit 80 itself as a baseline because it hits 80 for 3 Metal Energy attached to it, right?
Palkia every turn 80 is damn good because...
Yeah. This is targeted 80 wherever you want at that point, and you can scale it further if you Togekiss into more energy. So you can go up to like 100 for the 5 or something. With this was like the 4th deck I was looking at today because the Torterra deck was going to be the 3rd one, just because that's got Counter Catcher plus Vigorous Dash, and 160 HP is just disgusting with healing as well to get through. So this was like deck number 4. But yeah, it's a damn good idea for this one, because Palkia doesn't strand your own stuff at that point, you just snipe wherever you want on their board, and Togekiss is a way of getting lots of energy out with it, so
Yeah. I'm going for the night then, so I'm obviously tired.
Yeah, that's fine. Just before we do go, I'm going to like solo play it, but I want to show. I guess I could do it off stream. I want to show Cool Dude the overall loop stuff here as well, since he's nice of it. But yeah,
I'll
no.
hold the room open then if you want.
Sure, I might just do it in a solo thing actually, just because of how many cards and stuff are here, right? It might be easier for me just to show it in a blank room, performance wise.
Yeah, it's load of blank room, yeah.
Yeah. This idea is really cool though, with the whole like Magneton getting the energy back every turn, so you can discard them with the Mortar. Again, the problem, and this is the same problem I found with almost every deck that this way round. You've got a couple of multi-based energies here, but yeah, Crystal Beach kind of wrecks that if you go against it, and Tauros is just not benchable because got to keep your bench space managed, I suppose. But it's like, yeah, Crystal Beach is a hard time, but also just getting free energy on and just attacking that way isn't always as easy as it looks. And yeah, for 80 damage is good, but then this gets KO'd, and then what do you do? Is the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I've been finding with the stuff here. That's why I've gravitated towards Togekiss, because I'm
still getting used to the flow of this format, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's changing as we go, and it's throwing me off a bit.
Yeah, every time. Like I guess it's the main thing with most sets that aren't just Yu-Gi-Oh! GX sets. That the game does change every time the new stuff comes out a lot, and yeah, I don't know. I just really liked the idea with this Togekiss, and it worked out in basically almost every deck I played it in. It failed in Weavile, but Weavile is a meme anyway, so Yes, the Dark Pulse one.
I was gonna say, why would you want it? There's another Weavile.
Yes, there's another Weavile.
I forgot about that one because it was terrible.
Well, you see, Darkrai kind of helps it a bit, because suddenly you don't need quite as many energy in play to be hitting the right numbers. It's, again, 80 HP is just not enough though. It just gets one shot too much, and that's a shame. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna load into a new room. Thank you guys for playing. Hopefully we've not kept you too long from the pre-release stuff, Matt.
Yeah, I've got a little bit more time. I can actually play the game if you're looking to show off a deck.
I'll leave the room open for you if you want. Let's go and start cooking my computer on.
Sure.
We can just open a new room too.
Do we want to play this one this week? Yeah, I mean, sure. The only thing it loses out on is one attack.
Yeah, I could transfer host, but we'd have to clean up a lot first.
Nah, don't worry about it, dude. No, I think it'll be fine at the moment. I more just didn't want to like, yeah, try and show off a ton of stuff in terms of. I'd probably need to get like a whole lot of specific cards out of the decks and everything to show the loop fully. So it's better if we're gonna play a game, it's better just to play the game first and then do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just leave the chat room and start my food.
Sure. Sounds good.
See you, Pepper.
See ya.
Yep. Alright, so again, the extra. I mean, considering the last one of these was like an hour 10 or something. Okay. This one's going to be an extra long one to go compensate. I do have a couple basics here. So do that. We'll take a prize. Sigh. So, do we have a ban list? Yeah, kind of. It would be Banette, Ho-Oh, and Honchkrow, but we'll see. We don't have to have them hit if you want to play them. Anyway, what do you want?
Heads.
Nope. Okay, so we will draw. Pretty boring first turn, but that's what it's going to be when you go first. We will attach and we will raise a leaf for 20. Yeah, it's a surprisingly aggressive turtle, this one. Yeah, Weavile didn't show up. That was going to be your deck, but nobody played Weavile this time. I obviously played Skittles, Matt played Honchkrow, and Pepper played Banette plus Lunasol, which just was a deck I just didn't get around to, was the thing for it. Because I tried Lucario instead of Banette, mostly because I wanted to keep the energy a bit more reasonable, because fighting plus Psychic is hard to work with.
Ah, right. Okay.
I was gonna say, is that one alright where it is, or...? Okay. Guess we're fine.
No, you're right. I want to touch this on the thing.
Yeah. Like I don't want to coach / correct all the plays and everything with it, but I'm just looking at it going, are you sure? Because this thing might die in a couple of turns based on this.
Yeah, that makes this a more straightforward play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just Celio, grab the level X, swarm, and it is your turn.
Okay. Yep. I'll let you check your stuff first. I suppose it's probably not that big. It's being polite on it, right? Yeah. Just let you grab the stuff out. Okay, we will draw. Well, this hand is kind of dull. Is it weird that I kind of don't even want to try and get Claydol out here? That is bizarre. Because I have Grovyle. Yeah, it's weird, but it might actually... God, it feels like it's actually right, but that is so strange. This is one of the more bizarre hands that I've had here so far, I will admit. Because I have Celio, and that's what I'm going to use. It's just like, do I even go for the Baltoy here? Is the weird bit. I mean, I guess I should look and see what is even in here.
So I was thinking about getting two, and then I remembered I don't even have one in the deck.
Yeah, you've no longer got it, so... Ooh, temptation is rising to really not, based on the way this is looking. That's tough, but... I think it's probably better, actually. I'm gonna take Groudon. I think that's going to be the better play overall. It looks weird, it really does, but I think this is what I've got to do, looking at this. Prizing is not amazing here, let's just put it that way. So I do have another energy from hand, and we will go ahead and use the Synthesis to accelerate a grass to the Grovyle. And that'll do, go ahead. Yep.
It's a Revo, I guess.
Uh-huh.
For that, I can use this guy's attacks too. I was kind of thinking I had to wait for the level X.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll hit it. The Darkwing Flaps for 50.
Yep. And pull one of them back into the deck. Don't put it directly into the deck because I need to see what it is. Because I flipped them face down, so don't put it directly in. I do want to see. Hang on, is it shift and look? Yeah, it is. Okay, right, cool. Yeah, because I need to see what it is, obviously, but because I flipped them all face down first. Right. Okay. That will be my turn then. Okay. See, this makes it really weird now. I don't know. This is such a strange hand. I have... oh, that's revealing everything. I have Sceptile. That's fine. Like, Sceptile means I don't need to attach to the active now, so that's good. So I can attach to the bench instead. You're basically seeing everything I was going to do anyway. Yeah, I guess I'm going to Roseanne. At this point, I might as well grab it. Because I need another Turtwig anyway. Yeah, this is the one thing about having a lot of stuff in play right now, is that it's obviously being a bit slow trying to pull the stuff out, but it's fine. And yeah, with Wild Growth doubling my grass energy attaches here, we will cut for the 50 and get the knockout. Yep.
Level up. This here.
I see you fear Crystal Beach.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because you run out of places that it matters to attach to.
Yeah. Well,
If I
yeah,
had
when
another
you don't have
Murkrow-
enough birds. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, 2 and 1? Need 30%.
But if one of those is a Celio.
Yeah, exactly. What's this gonna do? 50.
Yeah, I've got to flip heads to
60,
KO you. It's kind of sad.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, I've
60
got to
health,
flip heads
wow.
because you got 60 health. This is the good Murkrow after all.
Upside is I get a Celio or a X.
Yeah.
I think I'll just go for the Dark Wing Flaps.
Sure. So
Yeah,
that's the
shuffle your
one.
hand.
Yeah, I've shuffled it beforehand.
Oh.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have to go in with that. Obviously, not much to do there. So we will draw. That would have been funny last turn, but whatever. Yeah, it's not pretty. Stevens for 2.
They're being brick.
That also would have been extremely good last turn, but whatever. Well, I might as well get them out of the hand at the moment. Rare Candy Torterra.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the 2. And then, yeah, I don't have an attach, so we will just have to Leaf Blade here. And actually get the knockout, okay. Cool, cool.
So I'm hitting 50. Good. We'll go football.
Yep. Yeah, you have a Darkness and a double Rainbow one here, so they cancel each other out, right?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, GG.
GG.
It's not a
Yeah, it's
GG
not
really,
great.
but GG. No, because my deck was gonna get shuffled, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really a GG, but yeah. Reason is, I prized one of each. So I couldn't draw. So I mean, this is also a horrible matchup that way because you just don't bench anything, really. So it's also not very good there if I don't get established enough, but yeah, there was nothing I could do. Unfortunately, just really bad luck.
This is weird, because, like, it feels like this was kind of... I really missed having the quit off, is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, because you don't have stuff to play. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
Pokédex isn't even a plus. It's... Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
you could
mean...
play more just, like, draw supporters, I guess, is more playing search.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the list on PTCG Archive, I know, again, playing Absol, etc. I think they had like 18 supporters in the deck or something. It was kind of absurd. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not even kidding. It was ridiculous. Because I think they also played 4 Mars as well. Like, they were maxed out on the disruption stuff. They weren't
yeah,
playing
that'd be pretty
ER2.
good.
They weren't playing 4 plus power and 4 strength charm because Cess kind of takes out the charms, right? They were maxing out on the disruption supporters and just going, okay, Absol plus Mars and or Wager with the Cess out means you're never going to get to play the game. That's the only way this deck actually wins consistently, is if the opponent doesn't get to play the game, as we saw here, because I didn't get to play the game and therefore I couldn't do anything. When your opening hand is every part of the Trico line, plus Turtwig, plus Torterra level X and 2 energy, you're not going to do very much in that game, let's be honest. There really wasn't anything I could do. And of course prizing one each of the Claydol pieces as well, there's really no way.
Did you lose anything off of Darkwing Flaps?
Torterra level X and Turtwig that I got off the prizes, so not really. My hand at the end of the game, as you saw, was Pachi plus the Super Scoop Up. Super Scoop Up was one turn too late. I could have tried to recover the Gaudilade before you KO'd it, obviously. Because I would have been able to attack with the Sceptile that turn, I think. So, it's like, yeah. And of course, after the turn after you killed the Gaudilade, I drew the Torterra. So, to say I was unlucky in that game is a little bit of an understatement, you know? Such is the way. I mean, that can happen a lot in this format. If you just don't get access to the Claydol, then you are probably not surviving too long with it. It is just maybe a little bit of a shame that I didn't get to show the Torterra part of this properly, because that card is an absolute behemoth, and I don't think your deck's even capable of beating it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd have to 3-shot it. For one price.
Yeah, 140 HP on this thing, and it heals 20 from your grasses every time it attacks too.
Oh, yikes.
And conveniently does exactly 60, so your Murkrows die to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things, like, not every deck is going to get the best showing all the time. This, apparently, again, with one Torterra from the next set instead, it even still mostly played this one. This list apparently top 4 the Nats, so, you know, it clearly isn't awful. I mean, I did tweak a couple of things, obviously, but it's clearly not an awful idea, but yeah, sometimes you just open like 5 Pokemon and 2 energy. What are you going to do, right? And
yeah,
then
I think all I can really do is snipe down Sceptiles and Claydols, and hopefully that eventually makes you not be able to heal / charge it.
yeah, the problem is you can't really snipe down the Sceptile, because you do 40 to it and then Leaf Storm heals 20 off it. Leaf Storm is healed 20 off of all of your grasses, so you could snipe the Claydol and that'd be fine.
Sorry, I meant with the...
Oh, with a Palkia? Yeah. Yeah, that is probably it, but then 4 Super Scoop Up potentially can ruin that.
Oh, you have Super Scoop up here?
Yeah, 4 Super
see
Scoop
that.
up
That's
in
funny.
here. Yeah, 4 Super Scoops, 2 Warp Point. The idea is not to die. You know?
Okay.
We don't have Pokemon Nurse or anything in this format, so we got Night Pokemon Center if you want to flip 2 heads for your potential heal, or discard all your energy if you flip 2 tails, right? So yeah, that's totally a worthwhile trade. You know, we might see this again. I don't think I would be playing this as the main thing like next round, because let's face it, there's too many cool new cards I want to play. You know, Eevee Aficionado, blah blah blah. But I definitely wouldn't like rule this out. Like, again, switch out one of these for the next one coming out, and I would probably play this in like the second week of Majestic Dawn stuff, because it's honestly is really really good. And yeah, we need to actually properly, I say we need to properly show it up, because I think it's a lot cooler than it even looked there. You know, actually give it a support that you can play on turn 1, and maybe we can talk. You know, just didn't draw shit, so yeah. Happens to the best of the decks. I mean, if you could put, like, I guess it's hard to put Coal Energy in here really, because you want your double attaches, right? But you could probably still justify it though. You just maybe don't want to attach it to like the Torterras and stuff, right? But you could. The Majestic Dawn Torterra hits 60 for 2 colors. It's Earthquake, so like that's still good. It just, like, it kind of conflicts a little bit with the Sceptile at that point, right? But
it does, for sure. I mean, you want to call first turn, obviously, but
so,
if it's only 4 copies and you can't play trainers, I mean, I guess if you guys like to play trainers. I feel like it's got to be a deck that also is fine just having a single colorless attached sometimes.
Yeah, which this one kind of isn't. Like, it's not the worst, but you would then need a second one to actually get your proper attack off, so it's not the best. That's fine. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna shift into like a single player thing now, so I can actually show the stuff off to Cool Dude if he's still here. And yeah, thank you for playing and stuff there. I'm glad we got a decent amount done there. Shame I couldn't give you a proper game in that last one, but you know,
Yeah.
draw luck is what it is, you know. Such is the way. But yeah, next one's gonna be so exciting though. There's a lot of cool stuff to look at. I wonder if we're going to build the same deck again, considering... right? Because, well, we both had Honchkrow before, and we both had the God of our Gaudilade thing this time. I wonder if we're going to end up accidentally building the same thing again. That's very amusing.
We'll see.
Yeah. Alright, take care, dude. Good luck with the pre-releases. Pull that Giratina. Even if it's just to sell it, pull it.